Hey, we need to talk about the new Tower of Adversity floors because honestly, I wasn't expecting to enjoy them as much as I did. I went in thinking, okay, it's just going to be the same old buffs and the same old enemy rotations, but no. This time, Kuro actually decided to spice things up, and it's the first time in months that I feel like this game mode is fresh again. And yeah, it wasn't frustrating in a bad way. It was fun and challenging, but not to the point where it will cause me to pull my hair out. That's a huge difference. So, yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? So here's how it goes. The first two floors, the left and right, business as usual. You've got the elemental buffs, the debuffs, the standard mechanics that you've probably memorized by now. Left side, right side, the same old divide. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing that will make you suddenly rethink how you play. But when you hit floors 3 and 4, that's when things start getting spicy. I find the left fourth floor more difficult with Hecate constantly moving around and making it difficult to fill Concerto. The right floor is easier. Despite the electro requirement, I was able to easily finish that one off with my monofusion team. The middle tower's third floor was fun, but the fourth floor was challenging. Not overly challenging, but challenging nonetheless. However, with Yuno and her extra 40% all damage buff and that extra 12% heavy attack buff, I'm sure that floor will be way more easier. That's why clicking my loot bar link in the description can help your wallet with an additional 10% off. Loot bar provides up to 21% in discounts, which makes it cheaper than doing your top-ups in-game. And with their do-it-yourself mobile top-up, they are even more safer and reliable than ever. Trusted with excellent reviews? Go for my loot bar link for timely delivery and save in your Yuno top-ups. So, these are what you will get in the third and fourth floors of the middle tower. The floors introduce a timer challenge where you need to clear in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds for a perfect score. But it's not just about the clock. The buffs here are completely different from the ones we've had before. Instead of being stuck with the specific elemental affinities, we get a universal buff system. 60 seconds into the fight, every Resonator's total damage starts getting boosted by 5%. And that boost stacks every 5 seconds until it caps at 60%. That means, if you can survive long enough and keep dishing out damage, the game literally rewards you with a massive power boost. No favoritism towards one element, no arbitrary restrictions, just a clean, straightforward incentive to play well. But wait, there's more! The second buff on these floors give you a 30% heavy attack damage bonus, which on paper sounds tailor-made for a certain character. And that's why I went in with Augusta, and it felt really good. It was challenging enough, but not to the point that it feels undoable. Of course, I'm going for full 3 stars, so that experience is different from someone only going for completion. The kicker is that casting Resonance Liberation also grants a shield of 3000 HP, and while that shield is active, you take 10% less damage and deal 16% more for 6 seconds, and it stacks up to 3 times. The catch? If you get hit and lose the shield, you lose the buff. So the floor is basically screaming at you to dodge or suffer. It's a skill check, plain and simple, and it feels good when you pull it off. Then there's the last little twist. Enemies take 10% less damage, but if you're shielded, that debuff doesn't apply. Again, it's simple but effective. It encourages smart timing, burst rotations, and actually caring about your survivability instead of just mindlessly face tanking everything. This is easily the most player skill matters floor we've seen in TOA so far. And the elemental distribution here is actually smart, because you're not pigeonholed into 1 or 2 elements like before. Sure, Spectro is the best pick in the left tower because of the resistances, and Glacio struggles against some of the enemies, but you can still make off-meta comps work. For example, I used Monofusion against the right tower, which recommends that I use Electro. Well, my Monofusion had the best time of all the comps. That's the kind of flexibility we need. Resistance is a factor, but it's not a hard stop. If your team is strong and you know how to play them, you can still pull through. And here's the thing, I don't want to oversell this as the greatest content ever or in endgame content ever. But I do want to be clear, this is actually fun. Tower of Adversity finally feels like a real endgame challenge again. My only concern is the reset cycle. 28 days is way too long. We need this content refreshed more often. Otherwise, it's going to get stale again. Give us weekly resets so that TOA becomes the thing we look forward to on Mondays along with the Somme Noir. That's how you keep endgame players invested. Reward wise, it's not much. You get an extra 100 asteroids, which is, fine, I guess. But the real reward is that for the first time in a while, clearing these floors doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like an accomplishment, and that's the point of endgame content, right? So, will casual players struggle? Maybe. There's a good chance some will. I mean, if you don't have the team comps for it. If you're not comfortable dodging or if your roster is limited, floors 3 and 4 in particular are going to test you. But that's not a bad thing. This game needs content that actually makes players think, adapt, and grow. Anyone can eventually complete this or even 3-star these floors with a bit of patience and practice. We talking about practice? Bottom line, I'm impressed. This is exactly the kind of direction I want to see for the Tower of Adversity. More universal buffs, more mechanics that reward skill, more enemy lineups that feel like puzzles instead of roadblocks, less of the DPS check and more towards the actual fluidity of the rotation. It's a step that finally makes TOA feel like an endgame we've been asking for. The challenge is fair, the rewards feel earned, and the design choice push players to improve without making it impossible for those who want to try. This is a solid step forward, and if Kuro keeps up this momentum with regular refreshes, new enemy combinations, and creative buffs, I mean, like the TOA could genuinely become the highlight of every update. Something to look forward to every week or every 2 weeks. Now, all Kuro needs to do is keep the momentum going and keep giving us reasons to come back. So, if this video resonated with you, you know what to do. Please leave a like for added buffs, subscribe for fewer debuffs, and hit the bell for massive crit damages. And if you need to top up, hit the link in my description for my loot bar link and save up to 21% off your next top up. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye.